So now let's look at what is Nibbāna according to the Buddha. So Nibbāna according to the Buddha actually has some similarities to this world. Okay, so some of you were considering that definitely there needs to be something in Nibbāna because you believe that there is some similarity between Nibbāna and this world. And that point is actually right. Nibbāna is very similar to this world. It is very similar to this world. That's why there is this famous Mahayana teacher who says that Nibbāna and this world is the same thing. Okay, but in Theravada we are a little bit more accurate about this, and the similarity between Nibbāna and this world is not positive, but it is negative. What does that mean? So it's not that in this world there is something, and therefore in Nibbāna there is something too. No, it's the opposite. In this world there is not something, and in Nibbāna it is not too. So what is not in this world, which is the similarity with Nibbāna where it is not too? It is permanence, satisfactoriness, and self. In this world, we have nothing permanent. What is it? What could be permanent? For example, body or mind. My body is changing. See, when I was a baby, I looked a little different than how I'm looking now. And probably after, let's say, 100 years or 500 years, I will look a little different than how I look now. And it's the same thing about everybody here. Your bodies will look a little different after 100 years or 500 years. I hope we don't need to discuss about that. Likewise, the mind. The mind is changing somewhat faster than the body. Every single moment, our mind is different because it is dependent on what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, think. Every moment, our mind must be different. That what we know now at this moment needs to disappear so that we can learn the new moment. See, if your mind was stuck in a moment, well, then it would not be able to know the new moment because it's still stuck on that previous moment, right? So your mind needs to be destroyed so that it can arise again with the new information. And then it needs to be destroyed again so that it can arise anew with the new information. Okay? So for example, if you watch a TV, in the TV, or if you watch a film, so for example, you see a cat, and then when the cat goes away and there is a dog, then the mind of seeing cat must be destroyed so that there can arise a new mind, which arises with the knowledge that there is a dog. Now, if you were stuck on knowing that there is a cat, there is no way how you will know that there is a dog later, because you're still thinking about the cat. But there is no cat anymore. There's a dog, you see? So the mind needs to be destroyed so that a new one can arise based on the new information. Okay? Of course, it's more complicated. I'm keeping it very simple. Now, likewise, just like the body is not permanent and the mind is not permanent, the things outside us are also not permanent. So they're arising, passing. Okay, so for example, clouds appear in the sky and then they disappear. Okay, but there are, of course, bigger things that appear. Well, clouds are pretty big, but there are, of course, more solid things than clouds in this world. For example, mountains. Mountains appear and they disappear. Seas appear and they disappear. Did you ever hear about shifting sea? SEA. A sea can shift. You know, in the past, when people were traveling from India to China for silk, maybe you have heard of that. It's called Silk Route. The path, the long path. There was a sea. Now the sea is gone. We cannot find it. It's just gone. Nowhere. Previously there was a sea, SEAC, a lot of water. It's gone. Sorry. Seas appear and disappear. Everything in this world appears and disappears. There is nothing permanent. So permanence is not in here, and it's not in Nibbāna as well. So that's the first thing. Then suffering. Okay, suffering here means not that you have pain, but that there is no possibility to enjoy something reliably. You do not have reliability in enjoying things. For example, you enjoy a cake. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. Can you eat a cake 24 hours continuously? I can't. Because if I eat cake more than, let's say, 20 minutes, then I have a stomach ache, right? From cake becomes a stomach ache. So how come that it goes together like this? Cake into stomach ache. Doesn't work well. The cake actually is not pleasant. It is only an illusion of pleasure because that's what I need at that moment. I actually felt unpleasant. And as I'm eating the cake, I'm still unpleasant because I want to eat more rather than being satisfied. After eating a little, I am not satisfied because I would like to eat more, but I worry that I would have a stomachache. So that's why I don't eat anymore. It's an example. Of course, it's more complicated. But the point here is that we do not have anything, any one thing that we could say, this is always beautiful. I can be with this one always. Now, of course, if you meditate on loving kindness and you achieve, let's say, the first, second, third level of concentration, then you can stay there for a long time, maybe for 7 days. But even after the 7 days, it will kick you out and you have to go out. What you can enjoy 7 days? Can you eat cake 7 days in a row? No, you cannot. Can you sleep 7 days in a row? Please don't do that. It's pretty bad for your health. Can you drink Coca-Cola for 7 days in a row? No, you cannot. You can, however, meditate for 7 days in a row. That is possible. But after the 7 days, it will kick you out. It's not possible to meditate about 7, 8, like more than about 7, 8 days. So there is nothing that's pleasurable for all times. Even with that, even when you become a Brahma, in the Brahma world, you can stay for, let's say, 500 eons or 40,000 eons. That's unimaginably long. But after that, sorry, you have to go. You're born somewhere else, maybe in hell or as an animal. So everything in this world is impermanent, and all what's pleasure is actually displeasure. It's not really reliable pleasure. There's nothing, no one thing. Now we believe that maybe now you eat, then you sleep, then you have fun, then you dance, then you eat again. No, that's not reliable because after some time you get old, you die. So whatever way you take it, at one point you get into suffering. There is no reliable pleasure in this world. And more importantly, at least for me, there is no self. That means there is no me who I could control. I have no power. For example, I did not design how my hair grow. I did not tell my mom, hey, you know what, mom, I'm going to be born. So make sure that my hair will have this color and they will be growing this way and that way for as long as I want. You see, I would like to have some more hair in this place and I don't have that. Why? Because I have no power. They just grow the way they want. You see, some hair grow like this, some hair grow like this. In the morning when I wake up, the hair like this, hair like that. A lot of fun. It's not the way how I want. But I'm still pretty lucky. Many people are born without hands, without arms, without legs, without eyes, without ears. Can they say, I want to have ears or eyes? No. And there are also cases with mind. Many people have problems with mind. Their mind doesn't do what they want. Like, for example, I would like to be mindful throughout the day. I would like to be in the present moment and be clear about what I'm doing. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Sometimes I think so. I'm now going to, whatever, take my phone. But where is my phone? I forgot where I put it. I don't remember where I put my phone because I put it somewhere else than where I should put it. You see, my mind doesn't work the way I want. My body doesn't work the way I want. They work only the way that I help. I can help a little, but it's not reliable. So the problem is that we do not really have full power over the body and mind. It's even worse. What we see, what we hear, what we smell, and so on, all that is dependent on what's outside. Suppose you see a dog, but you don't want to see a dog because you wanted to see a cat. So when you imagine that you see a cat, even though there is a dog in front of you, if somebody else comes and tells you, what do you think about the dog? And you say, well, I see a cat, you will be crazy. You'll be like, what? There is a dog in front of you. Why do you say that you see a cat? You see, you cannot decide what you see. The world decides what you see. You know? If you hear a bird, you cannot see, oh, I hear my friend, like your friend from school, because you hear a bird. You have to adjust. You have to follow. You have to listen to what the world decides that you know. You have no power over that. So this is in Nibbāna as well. No power in Nibbāna. No power in this world as well. Impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, not self. These three things. So this is what is similar in this world and in Nibbāna. Okay, so we don't have any permanent body or mind in this world. No permanent body and mind in the Nibbāna. No, nothing satisfactory in here. Nothing satisfactory in Nibbāna, like sensual pleasure. There is no power in this world and no power in Nibbāna. But then let's look at the differences. If they're the same, then it doesn't make sense. Why would we need to attain Nibbāna? The difference is that Nibbāna is more into the negative. Now, here in this world, we have the arising, passing moments of the mind and the changing matter. Now, in Nibbāna, there is not even the moments of the mind. And there are not even the changing body. No matter. No. But it's a little hard to say that there is nothingness in Nibbāna. Because if you say that there is nothingness in Nibbāna, well, then that implies, that seems to mean that there is somethingness in this world. And I don't agree. I don't think that we have something in this world. I think this world is also nothingness. Except that in this world, in this nothingness, we have pain, we have old age, we have illness, we have death. These things are not in Nibbāna. Because we do not have this arising, passing mind, arising, passing body, there is no old age, illness, death in Nibbāna. So Nibbāna is free from these troubles. Now you could say, but wait, I like about this world that I like get something nice to eat or that I see my friends and so on. Well, you like that because that's what you have now. Unfortunately, that's just for a little while. Most of the time in this world, when we are born, die, and so on, we actually do not spend by eating nice things, by being with people that we love. Most of the time we spend in the hell being burned, or in the hell being boiled, or in the animal world being killed, being tortured, or in the ghost world being hungry. That's what we usually spend our time with in this world. And understanding that most of our time in this world we spend by suffering, the Buddha suggests that we let go of this, because this little pleasure that we are getting these days is little. The Buddha says for one drop of pleasure, we pay by 4 oceans of suffering. I call it a bad deal. That's not a good deal, to have one drop of pleasant feeling and 4 oceans of pain. Yes, Tony?
So I know that, so I remember you said something that reminded me of a quote. The quote is, we can't control the wind, but we can adjust our sails, which means if the things outside doesn't matter. It's the thing that matters is how you react to it. So the thing outside can change if in the wrong change wrongly, not the way you want. If you did not react the correct way, it could be a little bit better if you react a better way.
I think this is something different from what I was talking about. So in this world, we distinguish two levels of reality. So we have the so-called ultimate reality and the conventional reality. So in the conventional reality, where I am Jensen and you're Tony and he is Jamburaj and he is Geo and so on, yes, there we have power. We can decide whether I steal or whether I give. I can decide whether I hit somebody or whether I help them to be happy and healthy. That's true. But that's only the superficial world. Okay, in the superficial world, we need to be careful to do nice things to everybody. But then we have the ultimate world, the deeper level of this world. And that's what I mean. I'm talking about how do I decide about what I see and hear? How do I decide about how my body grows? I don't really decide. I can try to make some adjustments and create some conditions to help, but I'm never sure, you know? Like I can decide, okay, you know what, I don't want to see dogs, so I will move to some other place where I don't see dogs. But what if I'm poor and I cannot move? What if there's somebody important and I need to stay where I am anyway? So we are always conditioned by the world outside. We are the puppets of the world. Although it seems like we have power, and on the superficial level, yes, we need to be nice to each other, in the real world, in the deeper sense of the body and the mind, we have no power. We are just puppets of what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, think about. Is it clear, Tony?